Hello ladies and gentlemen, in today's video I'll show you how you can create this awesome animated custom column chart in PowerPoint. First we'll insert a triangle, make it rounded a little bit, then we'll add a gradient fill and we will duplicate this shape a couple of times. Then we will be able to create this beautiful simple column chart where you can manually resize each of those columns by dragging them. Super duper awesome. And after that, I will show you how you can actually connect your custom column chart to Excel so that you can insert new values in Excel table and your columns will update automatically in PowerPoint. That's awesome. So let's get started. Before we get started, I want to say a huge thanks to Simple Slides for sponsoring today's video and supporting One Skill channel. Simple Slides is the largest library of infographics and slides that I've ever seen online, conveniently organized in one place. What's cool is that there's just one-time payment, no monthly fees, and you'll get access to more than 10,000 slides and thousands of icons. I have counted more than 70 PowerPoint templates inside the Simple Slides package, and I think that's a huge value. And what's even more awesome is that you can use discount code OneSkill20 and get 20% off. Link to Simple Slides is in the video description, and now let's continue with the tutorial. Alright, so let's open up a fresh blank new presentation and let's set the slide layout to blank. Let's start with liquid white, as Bob Ross would say. Alright, and now let's go to Insert Shapes and choose Triangle, hold down the Shift key and let's insert a perfect triangle. We can remove the fill and we can set the outline to black, and let's make the outline a little bit thicker so that we can see it better. And now let's make sure we align our triangle to the center. We can even activate the slide guides to see where's the center of the slide. Alright, now let's right-click on the triangle and choose Edit Points, and now select the stop point and choose Smooth Point. As you can see, now the stop point is smooth. So let's zoom in a little bit so that we can see better. So once again, let's click Edit Points and let's select the stop point. Now select this white handle at the side and let's just drag it a little bit to the right side to make this top a little bit even more rounder. Now select this point at the bottom and drag it inwards to something like this. You can adjust to any angle that you want. Alright, so now we basically have this right side completed. So we can actually insert a rectangle. And first select triangle, hold down the Shift key, select rectangle and choose Subtract. And now we will just copy this part that we have. You can hold down the Alt or Option key to make a copy. Flip it horizontally. Let's position it together like this. And now we can select both of these shapes and choose Union. And this way we have created this perfect little shape. Alright. And as you can see here, I have beautiful colors. I have this beautiful color palette. So let me show you where we can find this beautiful color palette. So here it is, colors.co. So this is a free color palette generator. Let's go to Explore tab and explore some beautiful colors. So this is the color palette I was using. Let's open it up. And as you can see here, we have only 5 colors, and for PowerPoint palette we need 6 colors. So I'll just insert it, one more color. And now we can export this as an image. And let's just call it colors. Alright, let's get back to PowerPoint, and now we can insert that image of color palette. Alright, so here it is. Let's select it and insert it into our slide. Let's reduce the size of this color palette and let's put it somewhere here on the left side. And one way to grab the color from this color palette would be just by using the eyedropper tool and filling our shape like this. Alright, but as you can see, the PowerPoint color palette still uses these colors. So let me show you how we can actually do it the right way, how we can import these colors into PowerPoint color palette. So all you have to do, go to Design tab, choose Variants, Colors, and go to Customize Colors. And here, as you can see, we have 6 accent colors. And here we can edit these accent colors, and we can basically make them, to be these new colors, all right? So let's click on accent number 1, and we can insert the exact hex code. So you can copy the hex code from the Colors Co website. You can paste them right here into accent color 1, and this way you will change it to this beautiful pink, hot pink color. Another way, if you're using PowerPoint on Mac, you should see this eyedropper tool, and this way you can quickly change your accent colors by grabbing those colors from this color palette photo. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So let me quickly grab all of these 6 colors. And this way we will customize the PowerPoint color palette. And we can give it a name, for example, Cool Colors, anything that you want. And now, ladies and gentlemen, if we select our shape, and if we would go to Shape Format, Shape Fill, now you can see we have these beautiful 6 colors. We have imported them into PowerPoint. So that's awesome. Okay, so we can remove the outline. And now let's actually add gradient fill to this shape. So let's go to Format Shape so that we can see the gradient fill options. Let's leave only 2 gradient stops, that will be enough. And let's choose this beautiful hot pink color. And for this second stop, let's make it completely transparent. And for this first stop, let's move it to the position of 35%, like this. So we're pretty much finished with creating this shape that we need. So as you can see, it looks pretty much similar, maybe a little bit flatter, but it's okay. So now we can just make a couple of copies of this shape. So we can just hit Command D or Control D and duplicate it so that we have 6 shapes in total. So let me just count how many shapes I have just duplicated. I think I can delete 1, so 6 in total. That's beautiful. And now let me just change the gradient fills for the rest of these shapes. So in this case, I'll just choose this orange color for this color stop as well. And let's just make sure we make the second stop completely transparent. And now I'll just repeat these steps for the rest of the shapes. Alright, and here's our last shape. And if you feel that this dark blue color is a little bit too dark, you can always add a little bit of brightness here at the bottom by moving this brightness slider. That's beautiful. Alright, so we have 6 shapes as we have created before. That's awesome. And now I think we can duplicate this first slide so that we have a copy of what we have done so far. Alright, and on the second slide, let's actually zoom out a little bit. Let's select all of the shapes, let's move them a little bit downwards. And let's just add a little bit of space between each of these shapes. So let's just go to Align, Distribute Horizontally. And now you can grab the top point of any of these shapes and resize them and make them look the way you want them to look. That's how easy it is to create this custom manual column chart. So you'll have to basically make, the height of each of these columns the way you want them to represent, specific numbers. And if you like to align all of these shapes to the center, make sure you group them up and then you can align them to the center. And after that, we can ungroup them. All right. So we can just copy these 2 text boxes and that small little line and this small text box, and let's just paste them right here so that we can save some time. Let's put this text box right over here and type any number that would represent this column. So for example, 70. 70 sales or 70 of something that you want. Alright, and you can select this text box, hold down the Alt or Option key, and you can quickly make copies of this text box. And of course, you'll have to edit each of these text boxes and insert new numbers that represent, the height of each of these columns. And you might be wondering, how would it be possible to create an automatic column chart that updates automatically based on numbers? And this is what we're going to do next. So this is like a more simple version. And after this one, I'll show you how to do that a little bit more difficult version. Now let me show you how we can animate elements on this slide. So first of all, let's add some fly-in animation to this slide title. Let's make sure it comes from the left side. It has a little bit of bounce end, like this. Now we can just use the animation painter and paste this animation to this subtitle. Let's make sure it starts with previous and it comes from the right side. Alright, and for this little line in between, let's make it fade. Let's make sure it starts with previous, just like this. Alright, so let's select this first shape and let's choose float in animation. Here it is. Alright, let's make sure it starts after previous, so after those titles come in. Duration 0.4 seconds. I think it looks good. And let's add animation to this small text box. Let's choose fade animation. And let's make sure that it starts after previous. So this is how everything looks like. I think it looks beautiful. And now we can just use the animation painter and paste this animation to the rest of the shapes. And as well, we can use the animation painter to paste the animations to the rest of the text boxes. So let me speed it up a little bit and I'll see you in a second. Alright, so this is how the animations are looking. That's awesome. We can check it out as well on the full screen. So first come the titles and then these shapes with the corresponding text boxes. Awesome. Alright, so now let me show you how to do the second type of custom column chart, which is actually connected to Excel. So that's super awesome. We can copy these text boxes and paste them right here. Now let me actually exit the full screen because we will have to insert a column chart. Let's find charts, column chart. And now the Excel window will pop up. So let's just do a couple of adjustments here in the Excel window. Let me just drag it here to the left side. So as you can see, we have a bunch of categories. So I think in this example, we can delete the rest of the categories and let's just leave one category. So let's just call it sales, for example. Alright, and for the series, I think we can insert years. So for example, 2015, 2016, up to 2020. Alright, and for the values, we can insert anything that we want. For example, 100 for 2020, 90 for 2019, and so on. And as you can see in the chart, we have these rectangles. So how do we actually use those shapes that we have created? So let me show you how it's done. And by the way, you can always delete any elements from the chart that you don't need. For example, chart title, because we already have this slide title. And let me actually change the font to Montserrat so that we have this beautiful font for all of the labels in our chart. Alright, let's actually remove those horizontal grid lines. I think we don't need them. So this way our chart will look a little bit more minimalistic. We can delete this category name as well. I think that's looking beautiful. And now, how do we actually use those shapes? So let's just right click on the first column and choose Format Data Series. Format Data Series, that's right. And here in the fill options, you can see one of the options is filling with a picture. And you can as well use the clipboard to paste any picture that you want. So that's the big secret. So we can go to slide number 1, copy this shape, Command C or Control C. And here in the series fill options, we can use the clipboard button. This way we can paste our shape. That's awesome. So now let me just copy the rest of the shapes and paste them into these rectangles. And as you can see, our shapes are looking a little bit squished. Don't worry, we will fix that in a second. So now let me just fill the rest of these shapes and I'll meet you in a moment. Alright, so now let's fix the look of our columns. So let's go to the series options and we should find gap width options. So let's reduce it to 0%. And for the series overlap, let's play around a little bit. And let's just find a point that where we are happy with the look. So you can use any percentage, for example 44. I think that's looking beautiful. Alright, and now we can insert data labels for each of our columns. So we can go to data labels and let's choose outside end. Alright, so as you can see in the previous examples, we had insert text boxes manually, and here we have these automatic data labels that show us the value of the column. So that's awesome. So we can adjust the font size of each of the elements. Alright. I think we can do a couple of adjustments to this vertical axis. So let's make sure that the maximum is 110. Alright, let's move this legend a little bit upwards. And let's make sure that the minimum of this vertical axis is 0, because we don't need -10. I think 0 looks better. Alright, we're pretty much finished. And now just to demonstrate to you how we can edit these values in Excel. So let's just select our chart. And let's choose Edit Data in Excel. And here we can change any value that we want. For example, for 2016, let's insert 100. And skadoosh, as you can see, this column has updated automatically. That's really convenient. And in the same way, you can adjust any column that you want, insert new values, and your custom columns will update automatically in PowerPoint. That's awesome. Alright, and let's actually set it to 190, 80, 70, 60, and 50. I think that's looking beautiful. We have this beautiful growth in the chart. That's awesome. Alright, and the last step is how to animate this, automatically updating chart. So let's quickly animate all of these objects. So let's just go to Animation pane. So let me just delete all of these animations so that I can show you how it's done from scratch. So first of all, let's add some fly-in animations for the slide title and subtitle. One is coming from the left, bounce end. And we're using the animation painter to paste the animation to the subtitle, which starts with previous and comes from the right side. And for this middle line, as before, let's use the fade animation with previous. Alright. And now for this chart, it's really very easy. All we have to do is just choose one of the appear animations. So for example, float-in animation. Let's make sure it starts after previous. Duration 0.5 seconds. And in the effect options, let's choose by element in series, which means that each column will appear individually. So that's really awesome. So, ladies and gentlemen, now you know how you can create awesome animated custom column charts in PowerPoint. You can create a simple chart where you just resize your shapes by dragging them, or you can create a chart connected to Excel and it updates automatically. So thank you for watching, stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll see you on my next video.